Good morning, All Saints. It is Tuesday morning, the 15th of September. It is good to be with you this morning. You know, I usually wake up in the morning and, like a lot of people, check my phone, see if there are any messages, see if any news headlines have popped up. And on so many mornings, there is so much news that is discouraging, sad, infuriating, depressing. And during this pandemic, it has become increasingly difficult to kind of escape that overwhelming feeling that the world is coming to an end. These wildfires out west look like an apocalyptic event. There's a new little fuzzy caterpillar that's on the loose that's stinging people. I mean, it seems like the epic biblical plagues are upon us. And people, I don't mean to make light of it, people are suffering and people are dying. People continue to die from this pandemic. And so it was curious to me that something I read this morning as I started my prayer time really resonated with me. And it has to do with the joy that God has in what God has created. So the writer I was reading talked about how when King David had the Ark of the Covenant brought into Jerusalem, he stripped down and he danced with abandon, even as his wife looked on him and scoffed that he was making a fool of himself. And the prophet Zechariah writes about when Jerusalem is to be restored and how children will play in the streets. And Psalm 104 talks about how God created the seas and all that's in them, and Leviathan, which is the sea monster, created Leviathan just for the sport of it. And you can imagine the great whales breaching in the ocean. And what's the purpose of all of that play and all of that lightheartedness and all of that joy? And I believe that is really what God wills for all of us, is that we be able to dance with abandon and enjoy all that God has created, to jump into the ocean, to play in the streets. And that we can't do all of that right now is probably a source of a lot of the malaise, the anxiety that is causing so much difficulty for so many of us. So I asked myself, okay, Elaine, where are you finding your joy? Where are you playing? And when I went outside, took the dog out this morning, it was in the low 50s and that crisp fall is in the air. And that is, to me, just one of the more joyful things, watching Ella do zoomies in the yard. That is where I found joy this morning. And it's not something very major. It's something very small. But it was just such a lovely, beautiful time to be outside when the world is quiet and Ella can run around with abandon. So I'm going to encourage you all to try to find your moments of joy today and tomorrow, whatever it is that can sustain you, whether it's dancing in the street or going outside and enjoying a crisp fall morning. My prayer is that you will find that joy, because that is God's greatest desire for all of us. Blessings to you and all those you love this day.